Hello everybody. Today I have an updated video demonstration of the Ghost Brick 3x4x5 Cuboid. I know that I just recently put out a video on the first version of this puzzle. However, I have made some improvements and wanted to just make an updated video. And I don't want to rely on anyone having to watch that video to understand what this is, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a full updated demonstration. This puzzle is made, once again, from a Shengshou Linglong Mini 5x5. And the significant change from the previous iteration is that I have truncated the inner puzzle before extending it. I've actually completely chopped off the corners and then shaved off about half of the edge pieces from the edge pieces of the overlap layer. And that has allowed me to produce a puzzle that is 89 millimeters cubed, which is the same size as an MFJS Meilong 10x10. And although the puzzle is still large, it's significantly easier to handle. And aside from that, the puzzle is the same as it was before. The cut slices are all the same, the angle of misalignment is the same, and so forth. I won't get into how this puzzle is made for that specifically. Just go ahead and scroll to the timestamp in the old video since I don't want to waste more time talking about that. But I do want to show off the turning quality and show off how much easier it is to handle this. So first, let's really get into the sizing. This is a Meffert's Ghost 3x3. This is a standard size 3x3, effectively. And it is larger than the puzzle, significantly so, but it is not massive, which was the case with the previous version of the puzzle. And unfortunately, I don't have that copy anymore. It actually sold immediately after I listed it. So I can't compare it, but this should give you a good idea of the sizing. And now once again, let's go ahead and talk about how to turn this. This is a ghost cube. So normally, in this state, I can't really turn anything. This is actually not the true solved state. In order to do that, I have to align the layers on the 5-layer side. For this puzzle, the 5-layer side has been ghosted, so I'm just going to do that. Now here you can see that all the layers across the 5-layer side are lined up, and now I can start to turn these 4 layers and these 3 layers. So that is how a ghost cube works effectively. And I'll just bring in the 3x3 ghost cube to demonstrate that similarity. In this state, I can't really turn the layers. It's only when I line up the axes correctly that I can turn the rest. Now, that is the property with all ghost cubes, or ghost cuboids, I should say. One of the axes is misaligned and reshaped into a cube. So now I want to demonstrate how this works as a brick. And to do that, I'm going to put in front of me the 3x5 side. So a brick cuboid normally, actually I'm going to shift to the 4 side. One of the properties of the brick cuboid is that you can't turn an even layer onto an odd layer and vice versa. So here, if I try to turn the 5 side onto the 4 side, that is not going to turn. Those are not exchangeable. And likewise, if I turn the 3 side on the 4 side, let me set that up real quick. How do I do this? Where is the 3 side? Oh, here we go. So here's a 3 side, and if I turn the 4 side onto that, oops, that's the wrong angle. Once again, that's not going to cut through. What I have to do in order to enable that shape shifting, if it was just a regular 3x4, I would be shape shifting, but I guess with this ghost cube, any layered shape shifts it. I can go ahead and turn the 5 sides onto the 3 side. Give me one moment here. Here we go. So I can go ahead and turn, I guess now, the 3 side, 1, 2, 3, onto the 5 side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can turn through that. Likewise, I can go ahead and turn the 5 side onto the 3 side, like that. And then that will also cut through. So all of the properties of a brick 3x4x5 are present here. And that makes solving this thing a massive challenge. I don't know how to solve it, and the person who I sent the original to Preston or James Smith, he actually made a YouTube video on it. He did manage to solve the puzzle, and to my amazement, I didn't know how, because essentially you have to solve the puzzle into this state, and because of the shape-shifting and all the bandaging, it becomes a nightmare. And I'm going to go ahead and scramble the puzzle to show you what it looks like fully scrambled, but first let's get into some corner cutting just to demonstrate the turning quality. So it will cut, it's hard to see the alignment here, but this is about, that's 1 QB, so it'll cut through that. If I go to 2 layers deep, it cuts through that fairly easily. And if I misalign these layers, you can kind of see it's misaligned. It's hard to tell since it's a jagged shard. That will cut through. And as I say, with all the puzzles, there's basically no reverse. And this puzzle can be a little bit clunky to use, but honestly, once everything's aligned, it turns pretty well. And if I didn't mention before, this puzzle is post-processed, so I have gotten rid of that scratchy 3D printed sound. But I really want to demonstrate the full extent of the turning quality of this puzzle, so I'm going to go ahead and scramble it. And to do that, I'm going to scramble it like the same way that I would scramble a brick cuboid. And first, that involves turning all layers in 180-degree increments. We want to fully scramble the puzzle before we start any bandaging. So I'll just start doing that. I know I didn't show off a checkerboard pattern, but honestly it's hard to tell what a checkerboard pattern is with these puzzles. And I'm doing my best to ensure that I do only rotate in 180-degree increments at this time. And like I said, I unfortunately have not learned how to solve this puzzle yet. So I'm going to use the disassemble method to restore this to its solved state once I am finished with this video. Turning quality is quite good. It's just a little bit hard to line everything up, to be honest, since all the pieces are a shard. However, I did struggle significantly more with the first version of this puzzle because it was so large and honestly unmanageable. And I know that that was a deal breaker for some people. This is the version that is going to be available in my shop in the future. Okay, so I'd say that's sufficient. Everything is just a mangled shard. However, this is effectively what we've done here is we've only turned, this is just a 6x6 to demonstrate. This is effectively what we're doing to that puzzle. We are, at this point, I have only been scrambling, for lack of better terms, white onto white, green onto green, and red onto orange. In order to get the full scramble from here, we need to go further, and that's where we start shape-shifting, or not shape-shifting, on a regular 3x4x5 it would be shape-shifting. In this case, it's turning what layers we can in 90-degree increments. So to do that, I'm going to put the 4-layer side here, so you can see layer 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hold it so that's right level with the ground. And I can go ahead and start turning the 5-layer side onto the 3-layer side and making 180-degree increments there. And for the 4-layer slice, again, since this is a brick, I do need to continue turning these slices in 180 degrees since they do not shapeshift with the 3 or the 5-layer sides. And now it's exceedingly difficult to orient myself because things are shapeshifting and I can't tell what is and is not aligned. Let's see here. There we go. So what I've effectively reduced this puzzle to is, well, it's, I was going to say a 3x3, that's actually not correct. In order to solve this puzzle, it solves similarly to a regular 3x4x5 where you need to reduce it first, and then solve it layer by layer on the 4-layer side. And again, it's hard to tell whether or not a piece is truly aligned, since the cuts are a little bit difficult to see. Let's see there. No, I think that goes there. Maybe here. Here. Okay, give up. Let's try this one. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that needs to line up there. I'm going to give up on that. It's a very discombobulating puzzle. Where can I... There we go, okay. With the bandaging, it's just hard to tell. So with here, you can see... Okay, so that's lined up. All of those cuts there are lined up, but it's really hard to tell what's meant to go where. Anyways, I think that's a sufficient scramble of the puzzle. I'm now going to go ahead and take it apart and restore it. So hopefully this gave a good demonstration of how much easier it is to handle the puzzle. It turns just as well as the previous puzzle. It's just as stable. It's just a lot smaller and easier to manage, and this is the one that will be in my shop going forward. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.